All right, we call it Bulldogs Breakdown when we get together talking Georgia football on our SEC Breakdown channel on YouTube, also on MarkRogersTV. We're joined by Savannah Lee from Bulldog Illustrated to break down Georgia's offense before we see Kirby Smart and company in Hoover, Alabama this Tuesday. All right, so anybody who follows the SEC at all knows about the running back situation at Georgia and Jacob Eason coming in and also Jake Fromm pushing him both as five-star quarterbacks. The wide receivers not as quite as heralded for college football fans, so we'll do a little bit more work here. Javon Wims is coming into a senior season in which he scored a touchdown in the bowl game. He had a nice day against Kentucky. I'll start with him, and you can kind of take us from there, Savannah, through the wide receiver core that we need to get a little bit more familiar with.
I think Javon Wims is going to be one of these guys that are just – it's time for him to have a breakout season. He had 4 catches for 96 yards in the G-Day game, not in the games that you mentioned last season. I just think that him coming in and trying to learn the system, he had a kind of a little bit of a learning curve last year. But I think it's all coming together full circle. He's excited for the season, and I just think he's going to be one of the 2 leaders, him and Terry Godwin both. After a season where we really didn't hear a lot about Terry Godwin, the coaches and all, they have seemed to challenge him. They've seemed to challenge him to be that leader of the wide receivers and to just be able to show the young guys and stuff like that. I think that the wide receivers are going to prove a lot of people wrong this season. I know that last year we had a few drops issues and stuff like that, but I think that they've kind of grown to learn to catch the hard ball from Jacob Eason and stuff like that. I think that, Tyler Simmons, Jeremiah Holloman, and Miko Hardman Jr. are 3 guys that are going to have some impressive numbers this year, especially Jeremiah Holloman. He had 3 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown in the G-Day game, and just the way he goes up and catches the ball and his route running ability, he's an impeccable athlete. He's one of my favorite ones to watch. They're receivers, but they're also tight ends. I think that Georgia's going to utilize Charlie Warner and Isaac Naughton this year. Charlie is somebody that this offseason has just worked out every day. He's pushing Naughton and pushing Blazevich and everybody else for sure, and he's going to be somebody to watch out for. But I think the young guys are going to push Javon and Terry a lot more than people are going to give them credit for. And one more person, Jason Stanley. He's been kind of like in and out of the system. He's done well some games. He's done well, not so well other games, drop passes here and there, injuries. But his 33 yards touchdown pass in the G-Day game was just a good sign. So hopefully that he'll be another option. I just keep throwing names out there, and that just kind of excites me because that's giving Eason more and more people and more targets to throw to. So I think it's going to be an interesting season for the wide receivers.
Yeah, Terry Godwin, probably the most productive receiver coming back, but needs to get into the end zone this year. So the Georgia passing game looks to be a little bit more productive in terms of scoring the football. Isaac Naughton, 29 catches last year, and if he can catch one on a jet ski, then he should be able to catch even more than that in the SEC. So I don't think SEC regulations allow the jet ski on the field, but if he can make the transition, I think you're in good shape.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too. I think we're going to see a lot more 2 tight end sets and, maybe even, I don't know, just 2 tight end sets. That is probably one of my favorite formations. Tight ends are my favorite position on the field. They're athletic, they're fast, and they have to go up and catch. But they also have to sit there and block when they're needed to. So I'm hoping to see a lot more 2 tight end catches, and I'm hoping to see a lot more motivation in the red zone by Coach Chaney as well, because it just seemed like last year that we couldn't just get in, or Georgia couldn't get into the end zone. So hopefully that's what they've worked on this offseason, and it's just going to be an exciting year. I think we have 55, 56 days maybe.
See, Savannah, I believe that you're allowed to say we.
Okay.
You're a Georgia supporter. You are full-blooded red and black Bulldog in every way. I just think with all that you do for the school and supporting the team, hey, without the fans, without the support of the media and everybody involved, they just go out there and they play by themselves in front of nobody. So I think you're allowed and big fans. I'm okay with that myself, being kind of a collective effort for is it Bulldog Nation? Is that ever used?
I use it. I use it all the time. I use Bulldog Nation, and I use Dog Nation. I used to use Dog Nation a lot in my articles and stuff like that, but it's a slang term, and so trying to go with being a little bit more professional. So I use Bulldog Nation a lot.
I always thought that DAWG kind of separated UGA from everybody else. There's all these Bulldogs around the country, Fresno State, Mississippi State, and the SEC. But as soon as you put the AW in the middle, that's just Georgia. That's all Georgia.
Oh, I agree. That's just what stands us apart. We have a different, DAWG. That's when you say go Dogs, it's the way that we say it here in the South. It just kind of like pronounces DAWGS. And so I think that's what, makes Georgia fans different from Mississippi State fans or Fresno State fans. Is we have our own word. And I think that's just something pretty cool. I don't know. I just love Georgia football, and it's just something that I've always been passionate about. And, whenever I do get to write an article, and I do write an article, it just makes me feel appreciated, and it makes me feel more a part of the team. And that's what I've always wanted to do. So I don't know, DAWG, I just think that's what we should need to have it. Like, is there a way we can put it into the dictionary so I can use it in my articles and stuff like that? I think we should figure that out.
It's in the culture. Even if it's not in the dictionary, it's ingrained in the culture, and that's what counts. And Jim Chaney, more two tight end sets. Savannah
Yes, please.
All right, Savannah Lee from Dog Illustrated helping us break down the Georgia offense. Should be explosive. Of course, going to count on one Mr. Eason to take those developmental steps in 2017. All right, Savannah, we appreciate the time.
Thank you. Have fun.